Kate Henning is that she was, in a way, Alex's first stage Mrs. Wilkinson, but his first Mrs. Wilkinson from hometown is the great and wonderful Michelle Colley, who's here. Michael, you're here, Michael somewhere. And Michael is, I love the story about Michael, because Michael was his first Mrs. Wilkinson, for real.
Okay, it's not a funny.
And taught him everything he really learned as a teacher. And what I love the story I love about you so much is that what Alex always used to say is when he was growing up, that the idea and the dream of the possibility of the future was all down to you. And that when he saw you and went to your town, went to your dance class, that gave him the inspiration for being who he is today. So here's Michael. And we're very happy she's flown all the way here with you. So Michael can say a few words.
Okay, I sure will.
I'm going to do this, don't
All right, okay.
Okay, you're good. Okay, give me a drink. Okay.
I'll set it right here, is this
No,
okay?
it's okay. You're good.
Okay. Well, like Stephen said, my name is Michael, and I'm from Iowa City, Iowa, and I've always lived in Iowa. I've never lived anywhere else. And I'm blessed that I lived in Iowa, went to college in Iowa, stayed in Iowa, opened a dance studio in Iowa almost 45 years ago. And I'm even more blessed that one day into that dance studio walked Tammy and Sam. And just to reflect on Sam a little bit, he was Alex's dad, who Alex lost 10 years ago this June. And he was a wonderful man. He was very supportive, very encouraging, and was always really proud of his boys. And Alex, just be certain that he's here, because he's with you always. And then there's Tammy. And without Tammy, we would not be here in this beautiful venue even celebrating Alex's birthday. And Tammy is a real force when it comes to loving her boys. And she would do anything to help them achieve their hopes and dreams. But I'm here tonight to just chat a couple of things about Alex. I've known him all his life. His older brother, Jack, is an amazing dancer.
Yeah.
No.
He
He is an amazing dancer, and he's an even more amazing tapper. And I've danced with Jack all through high school. So I've known him pretty much all his life too. But when Alex came to the studio, he was little, and he would kind of crawl around the studio, and then he would toddle around the studio, and then when he was 2.5 or 3, he started taking a class at the studio. But I personally stay as far away from preschoolers as I can. They scare me to death. But when he was about 3, one of my faculty members taught him a little solo to Zippity Doo Dah. And that was my first memory of actually watching him dance in front of an audience, and it was at a local dance competition. And he had on this bright colored little jumpsuit that Tammy had designed. Tammy designed all her boys' costumes, and I mean, they were outrageous. And then she'd be on that phone, Patty Noosial, you'll get that done. And so my first memory of Alex dancing was Zippity Doo Dah. And as soon as he was done with Zippity Doo Dah, he didn't wait for us to clap even. He ran off that stage, out in the audience, ran down that aisle, and jumped onto Tammy's lap and into her arms. And I look over at Tammy, and Tammy and I had shared contact, and I'll never forget the smile on your face. And that is just a sweet, sweet memory.
It was, and his question was, did I point my toes?
And then I thought, wow, this is, preschoolers can dance like that? I mean, I thought all they did was, ride my pony, And so a year later, when he turned 5, I kind of started taking my hand with him, and I was super amazed at his focus, at his respect, at his discipline, and at his self-motivation at the age of 5. And by the time he was 6 and 7, he was leaping and turning and doing gymnastics, like things that school kids might never rise to. And actually, he was kind of like that storybook, The Hungry Caterpillar, that he would just eat up everything in his way regarding dance. And one year, we did Jellicle Ball. And Tammy had him all dressed up as Mr. Mistopheles. Do you remember that, Alex? And I mean, he was doing like peeky turn, leap turn, peeky turn, fouettes and toe touch, double passe, and this judge came over to me afterwards and he goes, "What are you gonna do with that one?" I looked at him and I went, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, when you're given a talent like that, you just better be prepared." And I thought, whoa. Kind of reminded me of that Bible verse that says, "To whom much is given, much is required."
Yeah.
And then I realized it wasn't me. It was Alex himself. It was Jack, and it was Matthew, and it was Tammy, and it was Sam. And then one day in class, it was after class, we were doing like, you'll remember this too, kind of like a chasse, new axle turn. And Tammy came up to me after class and she goes, "Oh, I wish you wouldn't have done that today." And I went, "Oh, why?" And she goes, "Oh, because we got such a busy day tomorrow. He's never going to get to sleep until he's like mastered that axle thing perfectly." And I don't know, but I don't know if everybody knows that Alex was also a child model. So, I mean, he was like a busy man. Remember that? And my last thing that I wanted to chat with you about is kind of a funny little secret I have. Alex had a duet partner. Her name was Peyton. Peyton actually teaches dance testings for me at the studio. Yeah. And Peyton's mom, Michelle, and Tammy.
Oh, yes.
Don't hate me. This is all in love. Michelle had a very close relationship. They shared the fact that they had two really talented children. And Tammy worked for American College Testing, ACT, in Iowa City. And she was always dressed business professional. Dress shoes, dress suits, starched white blouse, ID lanyard, and her hair, nice golden, just like it is now, always a nice curl to it. And so I called Tammy and Michelle and I said, "Why don't you guys come on over to my house and bring all the kids and let the kids swim in my pool?"
Oh, that's fun.
Do you remember that? I can't even think about this without still just chuckling to myself. So, let's put the kids in the pool and then Tammy and Michelle and I'll sit down and drink some wine. So, in my pool, there's a shallow end and a slope to the deep end, and that slope is pretty steep. And Alex, and I think Matthew was right there with him, was kind of on the side of the pool, and I could tell you were right at that slope. And Alex had let go of the side of the pool, and I could tell he was kind of struggling on that slope. So I got up, I walked over to, grab his hand, to pull him back to the side of the pool, back into the shallow end. Just as I did, in the deep end jumps Tammy. Shoes, pants, blazer, blouse, lanyard still around her neck. And I kind of looked over at Michelle and she goes, and that is a funny story. But Alex, I say that story because just to let you know that there is nothing in this world that your mother wouldn't do for you. And now I would like to celebrate Nicholas Alexander Coe's birthday. Let's raise our glass. Woo! Whoops. To Nicholas Alexander Coe. May your future continue to shine bright and your health flourish always. God bless you, Alex.
Cheers.
Well, there's a couple of people who are going to do